Welcome to another video yet again. So I do have an extremely undervalued biotech penny stock that could quite possibly be the most undervalued biotech penny stock in the entire stock market. Drop a quick like for me on this video if you are enjoying this content. I have nothing at all to sell you, and these alerts are 100% free, and make sure you have that notification bell turned on because these updates and alerts are extremely urgent. But this is a company with a true 1 million share float. This was confirmed on a filing just a few days ago, and we're going to talk about that later in the video. But just recently, Oppenheimer, which is just around a $1 billion company, gave this penny stock a $10 price target, meaning they think this penny stock can go from the current level all the way to $10 plus within the next year. So that's massive already, and this is a $4 million valuation company that has over $12 million cash in the bank, which is 3 times their market cap. And this is a biotech company with zero long-term debt, cash runaway into 2026 with zero dilution, and $15 million in total assets compared to only $1.6 million in total liabilities. So like I said, you're not going to find another biotech setup like this, as clean as this, especially in the small cap market. Make sure you watch this video all the way until the end because I will be talking about another penny stock later on. Now, this is one that I think is severely undervalued. This is a company that just partnered with NVIDIA, which is a $3.3 trillion plus company. This same company just received an award recently, a settlement award from Cisco, which, Cisco is a $260 billion company, and this stock had some really amazing news come out just yesterday. So we at least have to talk about that one for a few minutes later on. And this is one I have been holding for a while now. The stock I'm talking about in this video is GLTO Inc., trading at $2.90. Now, this is a company that does have very nice range on the chart, as it was trading over $7 not even 2 months ago. So that's really big right there. And this is the same company that has a tiny microscopic 1 million share float. So with volume, this one can see some very nice, massive parabolic moves. Now, I just want to show you guys how undervalued they are. First of all, looking at their balance sheet. Now, this is from, going by the end of the year. They had $14 million cash in the bank, but this is sitting around $12 million now. And total assets are sitting around $15 million in total assets. Yeah, $15 million total assets compared to $1.6 million in total liabilities, because I did read their latest 10Q that just came out 5 days ago. But I do want to show you guys something. This one does have a true 1 million share float, because we can see on this report, it's kind of small, so I'm going to zoom in. But as of May 2025, just a few days ago, 10 days ago, the company had 1.3 million shares of common stock. So the float is sitting around 1 million shares, and it hasn't went up since the last quarter. And there are zero dilution filings. And this is a company that does have a pretty massive pipeline, as they do have 3 ongoing phase 2 trials. They do have another one that is in the preclinical stage. So, and they just acquired an AML asset in Q4, I believe. So this is a company that is making a lot of progress and does have a lot of potential. GLTO Inc. is a clinical stage biotechnology company that develops molecules for the treatment of fibrosis, cancer, inflammation, and other related diseases. So there is a very massive market for their technology. So looking on the daily chart, you can see this one is currently trading at $2.91, and not even 2 months ago it was trading over $7.30 per share. And this is actually pretty crazy right here, guys. The market cap is sitting under $4 million. Keep in mind, they have 3 times that amount in cash on hand alone, zero long-term debt, and an amazing balance sheet, like I said, which is extremely rare for a biotech company, especially a penny stock. The free float is sitting at 1 million shares, that tiny float with volume. This one can see an explosive move, and we are trading near the all-time low, or the 52-week low, and you can see it is just kind of consolidating in this range right now and looks completely bottomed out. Has a $10 price target by Oppenheimer. I did jot down some resistance levels to watch out for, but keep in mind, when the volume and liquidity does come in, I do switch to the 5-minute and the lower time frames. The next stock I want to talk about is ticker IPM, Intelligent Protection Management Corporation, which is currently trading at $2.02. And this is one I have covered in the past, but we do have some major updates we do need to talk about. But first, I want to mention that just 1 month ago, actually, Intelligent Protection Management Corp attains accredited partner status with HPE Private Cloud AI. Now, something you need to know about IPM is they were trading under ticker PALT, and in the beginning of the year, they did have an acquisition and a ticker name change. So as of right now, IPM is focused on the cybersecurity sector as well as cloud hosting. So this is an AI data center type play as well. And you can see, guys, they just partnered with HPE Private Cloud AI, and you can see that HPE Private Cloud AI is co-developed by Hewlett Packard Enterprise and NVIDIA. So they just basically just partner with NVIDIA. And, we have to look at their financial results because these, were record breaking and they were profitable in terms of net income. So they did $5.5 million in revenue, and their cash balance is just around $10 million. And we're also going to talk about a $65 million settlement that was awarded to IPM. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But just looking at their financials, revenue increased to $5.5 million compared to $300,000 1 year ago. So that is a massive change. Now, why did this happen? It's because they did acquire Newtek, that business, and got rid of their unprofitable assets or other businesses. So they completely transitioned, and they had their best quarter in history, I believe, or just in the last, a very long time, especially if we're talking about the revenue numbers. I believe that's their, the most revenue they've ever done in a single quarter. And this was due to that acquisition. You can see net income was $800,000, and something very big, guys. The company did actually announce a $400,000 share buyback program, which, is always really nice to see. And, I listened to the earnings call, and the first thing the CEO said is he said they are actively focused on mergers and acquisitions. Something else that really stood out to me is that their total assets pretty much doubled, and this is sitting at $31.1 million compared. Now, liabilities did go up, but their assets doubled as well. So liabilities are up, but there is still no long-term debt. So, still fundamentally, this company is severely undervalued, and we are expecting updates. The CEO said during the same earnings call that they are expecting new businesses to be referred to them through this referral arrangement with Newtek One, which was announced. This agreement was announced on February 26, 2025. So if you didn't know, Newtek One is a $300 million company that has thousands upon thousands of businesses as clients, in basically every single state in the US. They are now referring those clients directly to IPM. So Newtek One, ticker NEWT, like I said, is a $300 million company, and it is the same company that sold off one of their businesses to IPM through that acquisition in January of this year. So there are a lot of potential catalysts coming up in the near-term future for IPM. Like I said, they are potentially expecting mergers and acquisitions, as discussions are ongoing right now, and the company is seeking these. Something else we have to talk about with IPM, which is probably their biggest catalyst right now, is in the end of 2024, Biotech Holdings, which was the previous name of ticker IPM, they announced the judge enters final judgment in connection with Cisco jury verdict. So they had a patent infringement lawsuit with Cisco, which is a well-known company, by the way, a $300 billion company, or just around that, just under that. So it does say that the final judgment, which was signed by the judge, was entered in favor of the company, which is IPM. It looks like IPM already won this lawsuit. We're just waiting for any post-trial motions or appeals from Cisco. So the exact amount of the $65 million, there's going to be legal fees, litigation related expenses and stuff like that, but it does say that IPM estimates that it would receive no more than 1/3 of the gross proceeds in connection with the award. So even 1/3 of $65 million is already more than IPM's market cap. So they just had their best financials. They are expecting that $66 million award. So, this one is just completely undervalued and a hidden gem in the penny stock market. So I did want to do an update on this one, and that's really all I have for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think of these plays, and I will see you on the next video.